And then you told me that McDonald's hamburgers were made with emu meat. You remember that? Why would you say that? Are they really made with emu meat?
They would have been if I kept growing, or if I kept going. Eating though.
Have you talked to a therapist about it?
About the emus? Not about the emus, no.
Holy fuck, dude. Yeah. No. About the fact that
No, why would
you
that?
lost your virginity to an emu.
No. What? No.
Well, it wasn't long before the story of John's little miracle was sweeping the nation.
Out of a Boston suburb comes what is, without a doubt, the most incredible story.
Great, fantastic. Okay, now you count to 100, and then you try to find me, okay?
Do I need to wash my hands before I play this game?
Yeah, that's a weird friggin' question. No, just start counting.
The old man grabbed me and said, "Hey, smoke up, Johnny!"
There's something powerful bubbling up inside me, Father. And I'm afraid that someday, if I don't do something, I'm gonna explode.
So I want y'all to give a big, warm welcome for Jon Arez!
Well, hello everybody. My name is Jon Arez. This guy over here, his name is Big Sloppy. And welcome to the Views from the Jon podcast, episode number 58.
58.
Can you believe it?
That's awesome.
58 episodes in.
And it's Josh, by the way.
What did you think of me calling you Big Sloppy?
I don't know.
You like that name?
I like Sloppy Joes. Those are awesome.
I came up with that name when I was on the phone with somebody we both know before you got here.
Big Sloppy.
I said, hey man, I gotta run. Big Sloppy's about to get here. Just flew out of my mouth. I just called you Big Sloppy.
All right.
That's the first two things I thought when I thought you.
Sweet.
I said, shit, I gotta go.
Thanks, man.
Big Sloppy is about to be here. Anyways, welcome everybody to episode 58. We got a interesting and different format, than you might be used to, and it's going to be a great one, folks. We're just going to concentrate basically on 3 topics today, and then we're going to dive deep down each one of those topics. The 3 topics are alcohol, dating, and being in a band.
Yeah.
We are musicians, so we've been in a lot of bands. We've toured. We've played shows. If you have any idea what it's like to be in a band, you might be interested in that.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what it's like to be in a band, you're going to want to stick around because it's insane. It's like being married to 5 people. Literally. It's like having to have a relationship with minus the sex with like 4 or 5 different people, however many people are in the band. Try doing that and having a job and having a relationship and touring. And, unless you get signed or get huge, you're pretty much paying to play.
Yeah.
The equipment costs a lot of money. Alcohol, I don't really drink anymore. It's more of a social thing. This guy makes moonshine in his bathtub.
No, I don't.
No? All right.
I wish I did. I'd probably have like a little good side gig going on.
Would you?
I think so.
But yeah, I don't really drink too much anymore. But I will.
Right, kill a lot of people.
I just, I don't. Drinking's just not on my docket each day.
I'm a social drinker.
Yeah, if I get into that situation, I'll, socially drink. But like I said, there's no alcohol in my house right now.
No?
There's none. Not a drop. I don't need it.
What do you like to drink? Like, what's your...
If we were going to start drinking right now, I love just chilled bourbon.
Chilled bourbon?
Yeah.
Any specific type of bourbon?
Like Jack Daniels is fine with me.
That's a whiskey. Jack Daniels.
Actually, it's a bourbon. It's a whiskey bourbon.
All right. All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, you should, because I was a bartender, dude. I bartended in Charleston, South Carolina, at a bar that had 10 stations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
right.
the entire night.
I'm not a big fan of bourbons.
I love bourbons. That's what I drink straight up. But, you know, I'm sorry, you know, when I was a teenager, I'd take whatever was around. Mm-hmm. We would just take the cheapest vodka we could find
absolutely.
and just down it. It didn't matter. No chaser, no nothing.
Nothing.
Now, it's like as an adult, I get to choose whether it's a warm natty ice that's been in my trunk as a teenager, as opposed to now, I can go to the store and I can get like a Guinness.
A Guinness?
I love a Guinness. I wish I could have Guinness over in Ireland, where I hear it's just insanely good.
Yeah.
Like the American stuff is just not the same over there.
I pictured you as a Zima guy.
Yeah. Well, hey, if that's what I could get my hands on when we were young,
Yeah.
I drank it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, if all we could get our hands on when we were teenagers was wine coolers,
Peppermint schnapps.
we would get wine coolers or peach schnapps. Whoops, didn't matter. Wow, I'm hitting everything here.
Yeah.
I think I've hit everything but the ceiling fan above me. So anyways, we're going to be delving into alcohol, and we're going to be delving into the topic of dating. Literally every aspect of dating from top to bottom.
Lovely.
So let's dive right in. I think let's stick on the alcohol, because, you know, you're currently actually drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Which I thought after the first experience we had on the podcast with Josh drinking, that was the last experience. He's like, no, just one, I promise. Okay.
I just got one today.
Let's just make sure, because the last time you drank in here, you were saying like, oh, we're going to be watching Rosemary Baby. We're going to watch Rosemary Baby after this. I'm not driving home.
Oh, man.
You were saying Rosemary Baby. It's Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary Baby, Rosemary Baby. We're going to watch Rosemary Baby.
All right. I got you.
So, wine coolers.
Wine coolers.
So, anyways, why don't we do our best, worst, and first experiences with alcohol?
All right.
Okay? Because we could talk about alcohol the entire podcast, right?
Yeah, we could.
Okay, so I'll start.
Sure, go for it.
My first experience with alcohol is it started off as a wine cooler or two around the holidays.
All right.
When I was like 14 or 15.
Do you remember what type of wine cooler it was?
I don't know.
Strawberry?
It was always around the holidays.
Kiwi?
Yeah, probably. It was always around the holidays. I was young. I was only like 14. Hadn't even gotten drunk yet or whatever. But around the holidays, my dad was cool enough to be like, take a wine cooler, you know, on like Christmas Eve or whatever. And the only reason we'd have wine coolers is because my aunt liked them. So my dad got like, you know, 2 4-packs of peach, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd have a couple wine coolers and I'd feel so cool and I'd get like a little buzz and I was like, I like this, you know. So that was my first experience of it. But dude, my first hardcore experience.
Sure.
And you could probably chalk this up there with one of my worst when we get to the worst. But my first real experience with alcohol, we were really, really dumb. And let me tell you how dumb we were with alcohol. In hopes that there might be somebody out there that maybe hasn't drank yet that'll understand what I'm trying to tell you, that won't make the same mistake we did, okay? So around the age of 16, I was dating this lady by the name of Melissa. I was with my good buddy Jason, and he was on a first date with her good friend. Okay. So there was 4 of us.
Cool.
My parents are out of town. It's the month of October. It's a double date.
Nice.
We're at my parents' house. They're out of town. We're going to go on a haunted hayride. So we decide we're going to drink, right?
Right.
We want to get a little buzzed up. The only person that's got her license is Melissa. She's 17. The rest of us are 16 and 15, okay? My parents have a liquor cabinet, or used to. Pretty much every alcohol is in there, every hard alcohol. So we pick out a hard alcohol, and we just start passing around the bottle. We just all keep swigging it. 1 shot, here to go, blah, blah, blah. And after we passed around the bottle maybe 5 or 6 times, it had maybe been 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
You feeling it?
And we said, we don't feel nothing. What's up with this alcohol, man? So why don't we all take another 5-6 shots?
Oh, boy.
And then after 10 minutes, nobody's feeling nothing. But we're like, all right, one shot, one more for the road. We put the liquor and we start driving over across the bridge into the hills, to go on a haunted hayride. Nice. And that's when it started to hit us. That every shot you take, every beer, takes about 20 minutes for it to kick in. Mm-hmm. We didn't know that. So we just kept drinking, thinking that we weren't doing it, like drinking enough.
Right.
So by the time it actually kicked in, we had zero tolerance because we had never drank before, and we had all probably taken 11, 12 shots. Thankfully, my girlfriend at the time, Melissa, who was driving, who was 17, she had more experience than we did. She only took a couple. Mm-hmm. Why she didn't warn us that we were taking way too much, I have no idea. But so she was okay. But the rest of us, I was right. By the time we hit the bridge, leaving my parents' place, which isn't far from here, the two in the back, Melissa and Jason, are puking out the back window. I'm right on the verge of it.
Oh.
I mean, I'm talking near blackout, spinning, just uncomfortably drunk. You know what I'm saying? But not puking yet, but the two in the back are.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point. Our first experience with it is we drank way too much because we didn't know that it takes time to kick in.
Right.
You got to pace yourself and go slow. We didn't know that. And as a result of it, the whole night got ruined.
Right.
We made it, by the time we made it to the farm, everybody was sick, blacked out, just hanging out the door.
No hayride?
Yeah, so no hayride. We all had to go home. And I actually remember what year it was because my friend Jason had to spend the night. Mm-hmm. He didn't tell his mom he was spending the night, but because he was so shit-faced, he had to. Like, he couldn't go home in the condition he was in, right?
Right.
So I remember him calling from my telephone and saying that we had gone to see a late movie and that he was just super tired, and so were the other drivers, and, it was just best that we stay. Mm-hmm. And his mother's like, what movie did you see? And he's like, Shawshank Redemption. and I still remember that to this day because he slurred out like Shawshank Redemption. But that's what was in the theaters.
That's like
Shawshank Redemption, and that was 1994. Wow. So yeah, it was the fall of 1994. I was 16 and drank way too much, way too quick, and we all got super, super, super sick.
Wow.
What about you? What's your first experience?
My first experience was probably with my father working on his Cadillac in the garage. It was like 8 or 9, so I was young.
8 or 9?
Yeah, Coors Light, just one beer.
You had one beer?
Yeah.
At 8 or 9?
Yeah. And I was feeling pretty good.
Did you get messed up?
A little bit. A little bit. My uncle was there too, and he's the one that caught me. He's like, hey, Dad, or, his brother. Hey, your son got a hold of the Coors. And he's like, whatever. So.
Your son got a hold of the Coors. Did your father admit that it was him and not you?
No. I'm sure he doesn't even remember.
No.
But it was a cool little experience for me.
How about your worst?
My worst? The worst that I had it, or like the best, like most.
The best time you've ever had with alcohol.
All right. Oh man, there's tons. I did keg stands. Like, I had like 8 people picking me up at certain times in my life. Just
I'd imagine that's at least how many it would take.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they had a forklift there, they'd do it. Hey everybody, Big Sloppy's going first.
Oh man. We used to go to parties though, bonfires everywhere. My buddy's house. And we just get tanked and just drive home.
Yeah, here's a little secret to other people that might be watching in different parts of the country. Even though we're from Massachusetts, which if you look at an election map, it's very blue. Mm-hmm. You would think that everybody in the state is super blue, and it's like a huge city.
Right.
But
there's a lot of country.
There's a lot of country in Massachusetts. Yeah. If anyone knows Aaron Lewis. Mm-hmm. the lead singer of Stained, right?
Yeah. He's out in the boonies.
He's he's super country. He went country. Now he lives down in Nashville or somewhere in Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he went super country. He's basically from the same area we are, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are country people in Massachusetts. I don't know what the point of that was.
I don't know.
But yeah.
But sometimes, man, if we had a good night, I'd always end up with puke going down the side of my truck by somebody. So
yeah.
you know, somebody had a good night.
Considering that I'm petrified of throwing up, I tend to, I tend to, those are my worst experiences.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anytime I got so wasted. But I don't know. There was also a point that, you know, that's, I don't know, like when you're drunk, at least for me, because your inhibitions go down so much, you don't care as much about the puking because you're drinking.
Right.
You know?
I look at the worst part of drinking is, you know, it's a downer. So, you know, if you're going through a rough spell and you got a hold of drinking, it puts you into a dark place.
Well, that's the thing too, is
that would be my worst.
I've never been like a, like, you know, there's happy drunks, they call them.
I'm more of a happy guy.
Yeah, I've always been a happy-go-lucky drunk. But some people, when they drink, they just go dark instantly.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been that kind of guy. Even if I'm in a dark place, I think drinking would only make me happier. But
I've had a couple spots.
I don't turn to that. My best experience with alcohol is literally, I don't know, too many to list, man. I mean, alcohol really is the perfect social lubricant. You know, any of your inhibitions or things that might make you self-conscious or nervous, a couple drinks in, that stuff just melts away, you know? So, I mean, alcohol really is. I mean, they like to say that, like, weed is a gateway drug.
Yeah.
And I've always disagreed with that.
It's alcohol, man.
You know, I'll give you two examples. I don't use drugs. Have I used drugs before in my life? Well, yeah, I'm 42 years old. I've experimented with a lot of shit, nothing heavy. But the only thing I do these days, both of which is legal, is a little bit of weed and a little bit of alcohol, right? And I can tell you unequivocally, when I smoke weed, all I want to do is giggle or watch a movie or write music or play music, right? When I drink alcohol, the demons start coming out.
Right.
And the more I drink, the more, especially when I'm like in a social setting, like back before COVID started, if I'm out at the bar or doing stand up with my buddies and I start drinking and I start drinking and I start drinking and then I start wanting a cigarette and I quit smoking cigarettes, you know, like over 2 years ago. And then I start wanting to make other phone calls.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's just alcohol, to me, is the gateway drug.
Yeah.
Not weed.
Yeah. Another good part of my experience, I ran down the middle of the street naked in one of the cities, local cities. Yeah. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think it was during winter time too. It was kind of chilly.
Just remind me. Just don't ever do that when we're drinking together, please.
Nah, those days are over.
Yeah, hopefully, right? But I don't know, man. Let me tell you about. Yeah, man. I don't really trust myself per se.
Yeah, really.
With, you know, like with drinking. There's a certain limit that I get where those inhibitions really start to slip away, and I start to say F it to things that I normally wouldn't say F it to.
Right.
And we're talking good things that you should say F it to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What would that be?
Like drinking and driving.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, doing stuff you're not supposed to.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, alcohol just leads to more stuff.
Jumping in the river at.
But let me tell you. Let me tell you about my personal worst situation I've ever experienced having to do with alcohol. And it wasn't me that was on alcohol. It was just involving alcohol.
All right.
And this is a nutty one. Me and my buddy, we were only, I would say 14 years old. And we were at our local mall one Friday night to go see movies. Typically one parent would drive us there for the movie. Another parent would be responsible for picking us up. So after a movie one Friday night, we were waiting on my buddy's dad to pick us up. You all right?
Yeah.
All right. We were waiting for my buddy's dad to pick me up, and he was late. We were out there for a while. It was cold. Finally, he pulls up in his pickup truck, and we can clearly tell that he's wasted. I mean, wasted. You can smell it. He's slurring his words. He's an angry kind of drunk guy.
Yeah.
And this is like a two-wheel drive V8 pickup truck with a 4-speed manual, I think it might have had. So, you know, 3 of us in a pickup truck. I sat in the middle, so we were pretty crowded. And when I say he went down, dude, he was passing cars going 100 miles an hour.
It's crazy.
And
I got a familiar stories with like that.
We were absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
We were afraid to say anything, afraid to do anything. He had no reason to be going as fast as he was. I think the speed limit was 40, and this is like a major route around here. So it was just constant cars, and he's just going like this with this pickup truck, just all over the road. And it got to the point where we were maybe 3 miles away from getting home. And at that point, I want to say me and him had enough, and we started speaking up, and he actually got angry, locked up the brakes and said, "You," pointed at me and said, "You know how to drive a manual transmission, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You drive us home." So I said, so I just looked at my friend and I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, you know, I would rather me at 14 get us home than this guy just going nuts, dude. And yeah, I was able to drive us home. We pull into the driveway and I see his mother looking out the bay window, and she sees me pull in with the dad in the middle.
Yeah.
And she comes outside and she's like, "What the F is this?"
She must have been ripping.
And yeah, she was. And he gets out of the truck and he's just like, "Oh, yeah, fuck you." And dude, let me tell you something. A violent domestic fight broke out.
I bet.
Where I believe he punched, like the father ended up punching the mother, I believe, in the stomach. Punched my buddy in the face.
Wow.
He took me by the neck and he pinned me up against the wall, and he was like doing this in my face. Thinking back, because I can still remember it clear as day. This is, what was 94, 93, 92? This is a long time ago,
Early
but 90s. I can still picture it clear as day, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't have the confidence or the balls to just absolutely knock that guy out at that point. But I don't know, dude. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
So he ended up letting me go without actually choking me any further or hitting me. I was able to escape the house. I ran to the neighbor, had them dial 911. The neighbor come running over. The neighbor comes into the house trying to break up the fight that's going on. And the guy's like, "Get the fuck out of my, who are you to come in my house?" So finally the cops did get there. They arrested the dude. I had to, fill out like a report, like a police report about every detail of what went on. And yeah, man.
That is pretty scary when you got an adult figure or even a parent doing that.
Yeah.
And you're a kid.
Yeah. So
witnessing it all. It's traumatizing.
We were innocent kids that got into a car with an adult drunk driver.
Yeah.
And then not only that, he scared the crap out of us driving home. Not just because he was all over the road, but because he was literally passing cars going 90 in a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Just out of control. To the point where, I'm even, getting shook up talking about it, man. It's fucking crazy, dude.
We just went down a dark road.
Yeah, but, I mean, to talk about it now, it's just
Yeah,
it's part of life.
It's a learning lesson, learning curve.
Yeah. The lesson is, if you suspect that a friend of yours, or even an adult figure or parent has been drinking, speak up. Don't get into the car.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Take the keys, rip them out, throw them in the woods or wherever you are. Just throw them away.
It is entirely possible that in another place, in another time, he could have very well killed us on the way home.
Yeah, or killed somebody else.
Or killed somebody else. So don't drink and drive, people. Don't pick up kids if you're a parent or an authority figure if you've been drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not friggin' worth it. You know? I mean, the bottom line is, man, alcohol, like anything else, it can be great. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. I love it. But
have you ever passed out drinking? Have you hit that point and just blacked out?
I think I have, especially when coming home from parties and, all that kind of stuff, not remembering falling asleep. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that constitutes as passing out. But, yeah, dude, I really consider myself lucky because there's been plenty of times when I was stupid in my youth that I was told that I was driving around all night, and I know that I drove home, but literally woke up the next morning and had zero recollection of any of it.
I blew part of my finger off with a firework because I was drinking. I was just held on to the...
Something tells me even if you were sober, you would have done it.
Probably. Hey, Josh, your finger's on fire. What?
Do you have a worst experience with alcohol?
Nah, yeah, just like what I told you. A few years ago, I was going through a rough patch, and I was drinking a lot. And I think that's probably the worst I'm drinking like a bottle of wine a week, a bottle of whiskey a week, some Tanqueray and tonic.
Like a bottle of wine a night?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I love wine, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got to that point with alcohol, but that's what I was going to say. You're like, well, what do you drink now? And I was telling you.
Yeah, I drink wine.
I love wine.
I like red wine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't mind a white if it's all there is, but I prefer red.
Yeah.
What do you like? You like a Merlot?
I do like a Merlot. Merlot?
Yeah. I just wanted to see if you pronounced it Merlot.
I know.
You like a Chablis?
No. I'll give you a Chablis.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Right on your forehead.
All right. What's the next topic, Josh?
I'm a cider guy, too. I like ciders.
We're going to go into, we were just talking about alcohol.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Alcohol was the first topic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
All right.
We're skipping around, remember?
Are we?
I think so.
No. We talked about our first, we talked about our best, and we talked about our worst.
I think so.
So I think we can check alcohol off the list. So what's going to be next? We need to flip a coin. Is it going to be the subject of women and dating and all the such?
Let's do that. Let's get it out of the way.
Are we going to go into the being in a band?
Yeah, we'll do the band stuff later.
All right.
I think there's a few people out there that like to hear music stuff.
Well, here's what we can go on. I didn't get to tell this story last week. I attempted to.
All right.
If anybody remembers last week's podcast, at the very end, there's some like bonus footage that was from another take of last week. Mm-hmm. And in that was the attempt at me to tell this story. I would like to attempt to tell the audience once again this story without commercial interruption.
All right. Go for it, I guess.
All right. The story is back in high school, my senior year of high school, mm-hmm. I was walking to the lunchroom, up a flight of stairs. And maybe 5 stairs ahead of me was a gentleman that hailed from Puerto Rico. Okay? A Spanish gentleman. And maybe a flight of stairs above him was a Spanish woman. And I observed him try to pick her up, like get her phone number.
Oh, I thought you were
Revealed to her that he was interested in her. And the way he did it was really unique. He says to her, he goes, and I'm just paraphrasing here, okay? He says to her, he goes, "Yo, baby." He's like, you are looking good. He's like, "You're looking good."
Yeah.
And she turns around, and I'm fully expecting her to be like, "What?" You know?
Slapped across the
Right. But she doesn't. She turns around and she goes, "Yeah?" And he's like, "Yeah. You're looking good." And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like that works?" Like I was expecting the slap doing it like that. But he didn't. She was digging it. And I was fascinated by it.
Nice.
So I finally make my way to my lunch table with all my buddies. And I'm telling my buddies what I just saw. And they're amazed by my story as well. And just as I'm finishing up the story, this beautiful young lady comes walking up to our lunch table. I've never seen her before. And I decided to put this pickup method,
the technique,
into play. I decided to test it for myself. So she walks up to the table and I said, "Yo, baby." I said, "You're looking good." I said, "Do you got a boyfriend?" And she's like, "No." She just looks at me with like, "No." And that's all there was to it. She just, said no, and she just took off.
She instantly fell in love with you?
Well, not at first, because she didn't give me the same response that the Spanish gentleman got. Because the girl was like, "Yeah," but she was like, "No," But fast forward to maybe an hour later, I'm in a study hall in the library, and one of her friends knows me. She was from my street. And she says, "Hey, you remember that girl that you talked to at lunch?" She's like, "She thinks you're hot." And I'm like, "Well, that's great because I think she's hot too." And we ended up going out for 2.5 years.
Nice. She just needed some time to think about it.
That method actually worked.
Nice.
It worked for the Spanish gentleman and it worked for me. And the girl that I ended up, going out with ended up being like the girl that every guy wanted.
Nice.
By the time she, because she was a freshman and I was a senior. And by the time she got to her sophomore, junior year, like every dude in the school was lusting over her and I was still young and I was, a little jealous.
Yeah.
I've gotten over that, but I was also, 18 years old.
Have you tried that later on in life?
I haven't, but considering nothing else is working, I think I need to go back to it.
Yeah, give it a whirl.
But I don't know. Ladies, does that work? If I were to go up to you, let's say, but, this was in school and we were young. If I were to go up to a lady in like a, in a nightclub or at a bar or maybe in a grocery store.
Yeah, groceries.
And be like, "Yo, baby, you looking good."
Go to the shoe store.
I don't think she'd be receptive to that.
She might.
I think I would be stopped at baby. I'd be like, "Yo, baby." She'd be like, "Baby? Who are you calling baby? You chauvinistic pig." That's probably what would happen.
Maybe.
But yeah.
I'd give it a whirl.
That crazy method, as crazy as I thought it was, it ended up working. So, viva la Puerto Rico. I grew up with a lot of people from my high school days that hail from Puerto Rico, and I love my Puerto Rican friends. So if we have any Puerto Rican viewers, fans, thank you. We love you. Muchas gracias.
Nice.
I love my Spanish people. Puerto Rico, anywhere. Puerto Rico, Spain, Mexico.
I like Spanish food.
I love Spanish. I love Spanish everything. I love speaking Spanish.
Pork.
Pork. The Swedish Chef. You like my shirt?
Nice.
Bastin. With a shamrock.
You need a 4-leaf clover, though. Some luck on you.
It's the Celtics friggin'...
Yeah, I know. It's actually...
No, you don't know.
It's just a clover. It's not the Celtics.
This guy's got no idea.
I hate basketball.
This guy doesn't know about sports.
No.
He watches the Patriots and goes, who hit a home run?
Nah.
He watches the Red Sox and says, who scored a goal?
Back to dating. I think my first experience, I think I was 11 years old. This girl named Jen.
Your cousin?
No, not my cousin. I'd slap you. But
Why can't you just laugh? You know I'm busting your...
Yeah.
Just relax.
I'm relaxed.
No, you're not.
I was laughing. I was giggling.
No, you weren't.
Nah, but she was a new girl in school, so she got picked on a lot. I got picked on a lot too when I was a kid. So, you know, what are you giggling at, you little schoolgirl?
Go ahead.
Are you done?
Go ahead.
Yeah, but she lived about maybe 2 or 3 miles away from me, and we always used to not hook up, but like we'd ride bikes together and stuff. So we were kids back then. It was just innocent stuff. We'd go fishing and stuff like that. It was cool. She moved to Florida like the year after, so I was a little brokenhearted.
At 11?
At 11. Lost my buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember dating at 11 or 12.
Well, it wasn't really dating. It was just like, you know, just hanging out, kid stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like something you'd see on like Stranger Things. You hop on a bike and...
Yeah, because at that point, you know, you haven't really hit puberty.
No,
so it doesn't matter whether it's girl or boy. Or kids don't look at that kind of stuff.
She kissed me on the cheek and stuff like that. It was cool. Ooh. That would be my home run right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it, man. I'm sorry she had to move away, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all right. It's all good. I'm sure she's married and has kids and has a wonderful life now. So
I think my first date wasn't until 14.
Ow. You hear that pop?
Yeah.
That was my kneecap.
You're big sloppy, man.
I know, I'm falling apart.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because you're an expert at this, apparently.
I guess, apparently.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, evidently, okay?
Yeah.
You know? It's a good thing Judge Wapner, or Judy, isn't a part of this podcast.
Okay. I watched Judge Judy at the gym.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Jerry Springer, too?
No, just Judge Judy.
Just Judge Judy? All right. So this has always been a phenomena that, I never used to get, but I still find is hilarious, with the online dating.
All right.
You know a little bit about that, don't you?
I'm still new at it. I mean, I've been doing it for a little bit. Not long.
All right. Because I dabbled in it when I was young, but I haven't used it in many years.
I'm not too fond of it.
The last time I think I used it was when I moved to Charleston, South Carolina, back in 2004.
Yeah.
Because we really didn't know too many people.
Mm-hmm.
I met people through work and out at bars and stuff, but, I thought another way to make friends and meet women would be through, like, Match.com, that kind of stuff. Back then, you could search for compatible mates with a variety of different search criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Like body type was one, ethnicity, height, anything. You could narrow it down. Is it still like that? Because what my point is I'm getting at is that the category of body type, okay? I understand for somebody who's could be construed as being, above average weight.
All right.
Might be sensitive or unwilling to hit the checkbox when filling out their profile that, they are.
Yeah.
But what always used to get me, and I love this, because it really dumbs it down like it's no big deal, But back when I was doing this stuff, this is like the early 2000s, like Match.com, they had slim or slender, then they had athletic or average, then they had the category that was above average, and that was a few extra pounds.
Yeah.
A few extra pounds was the next step up from average or normal or whatever category it was. And then it was overweight, and then it might have been one more above that, right? Now, when I would do a search, okay, not to be shallow, okay, but, if I'm searching out somebody to be in a relationship with, I'm into girls that are more of the athletic, slender, thin side. Yeah. Kind of like me.
They have a active now. That would be your slender.
Do they still have the few extra pounds?
They have...
what are the current PC?
It's active, occasionally active, or not at all active.
Okay, so they don't even mention body type. They just mention how active you are.
Yeah, I think...
because you can be 300 pounds and be active.
Yeah, I'm 300 pounds and active.
There you go. So, okay, so yeah, back in my day, I guess, you could search based on if you wanted slender or average or athletic or a few extra pounds. But my point is that the amount of people that should have checked the overweight box but couldn't bring themselves to do it, so they just checked the few extra pounds box. Yeah. And I'm thinking a few extra pounds means if your average weight, if you're a lady for this age group or whatever, should be this, and it's supposed to be, let's say, 140, you weigh 142, that would be a few extra, wouldn't it?
It's not all about the weight, John.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
You understand what I'm saying, though? You had people that were more than a few extra pounds checking the few extra pounds box.
I think there's people on there that are just lazy and they don't update it, so it's an old account.
No. I just think that if you are actually overweight and you are self-conscious of the fact that you are overweight, like I used to be, it's really difficult to admit to the world and yourself by hitting that checkbox that, yes, I am more than a few extra pounds. But I guess you don't even, that's crazy, dude. Yeah. Like, they don't want to shame people now who are on dating sites.
Yeah, I guess not.
Like, that's how hands-off they have to be.
They want it more.
Are you active or not active, or are you super active? Like, that's like literally the level.
They're all about the user number.
Man. Okay, so Josh, let me ask you a question.
All right, sure.
So are you trying to say in a mate that you don't care about size or weight or body type?
Not really. I'm looking for somebody like who's honest and not shady, So.
Well, we're all looking for that.
Yeah.
But, most of us men are looking for the Victoria's Secret model that also has those same attributes, right? But those women, I want to say they're few and far between.
Very few and far between.
No, there's plenty of them out there. It's just they're all taken. And they're usually with...
Yeah, or they have high expectations.
A guy that really doesn't deserve them.
Yeah, or they have high expectations.
Like me. Like I'm a guy that deserves them.
They want somebody with rippling muscles and beautiful long hair. Men like Fabio.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
One of the biggest contradictions I think I've ever heard, and I will argue with any woman about this, is that I've heard women say this countless amounts of times. Were you just giving me a signal?
No, I was itching my leg.
Okay, I thought you were trying to give me some
This is a signal right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a signal. Am I drinking the appropriate amount for this week's podcast, Josh?
You're doing good. You're not a camel this week. You're not nursing on your little bottle.
This guy says to me, I think you should drink less water this week on the podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, if I'm thirsty, I'm talking for an hour.
You had a bottle stuffed in your mouth every time I looked at you.
Well, maybe that's because I'm hoping that you'll do something that'll make me spit it out.
Oh.
I'm hoping to go, against the don't swallow while Josh is talking mentality.
Against the grain.
Yeah.
Maybe an airplane.
It's either an airplane or there's an approaching nuclear missile that's about to take us out.
It's North Korea.
I think. Yeah,
Maybe. So,
not my president.
back to dating.
Back to dating. No. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you're honestly don't. Okay.
I'm attracted to somebody who wants to be with me. So I don't really consider a weight being a problem.
Okay.
Unless it's.
Okay, so even though you can't put a body type into current dating sites.
If they're breathing heavy, nah.
Okay.
I'm not good with that.
Yeah, okay. But let's say, okay, people, let's get real for a second,
Sure.
okay? There's been beautiful women that I've met that were thin and just, seem to have everything. And then you get to know them, they open their mouth, and they're just such horrible people that when you look at them from them on, they don't look as attractive.
Right.
And that goes the other way too. There's been women that I've seen that I wasn't like, whoa, they're hot. I just looked at them, just didn't really notice, and then started talking to them. And then they end up being so cool that they slowly start turning into being like physically attractive.
Yeah, like Shallow Hal, man.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not like Shallow Hal. Because if Shallow Hal knew what she looked like from the beginning, he wouldn't have been there.
Right.
It's not like Shallow Hal.
The opposite of Shallow Hal. He fell in love with her at the end, though.
Yeah. It's also a movie.
Yeah. It was all right.
Life doesn't end up like the movies, Josh. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So, you got any more dating experiences?
Did you know that we are the only animals to pull out?
Where'd that come from?
It's true.
Or?
Human beings. We are animals.
Yeah, we are, I guess.
We're at the top of the food chain. But yeah, we are the only animals that use the withdrawal method.
Huh.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that research from?
It's just one of those little known, facts of the day.
All right. It's good to know, I guess.
You're so dry, dude. So, what else?
Are you trying any of these dating sites or no?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't know. I guess I can't really. I don't know. Maybe I should.
Yeah, just get out and talk to somebody.
Or maybe somebody watching the podcast thinks I'm cute.
I doubt it.
Hit me up, Playboy.
There's only 3 people watching. I'm joking.
No, you're probably accurate.
Probably 3 guys too.
Yep. So let's talk about being in a band for a minute, man.
Oh, we're all done with dating?
Well, yeah, man, because you're looking at me over there like I'm fucking Santa Claus or something, like you're a deer caught in the headlights.
No, I got plenty of stuff written down.
Well, go for it.
About dating. I was waiting on you.
Waiting on me to do what?
I don't know.
Dude, what is that tattoo?
I got nothing written.
On your forearm?
Which one?
The other one.
This one or this one?
That one.
What's wrong with it?
I didn't say anything was wrong with it. I'm just asking what it is. Okay, I think I'm discovering what it is. It's a fish.
Sure, it's a fish.
It's the Philadelphia Flyers logo.
Close. It's a bird, man.
It's a bird.
Yeah, it's one of my grandma's favorite birds.
It's a plane.
You're dissing my tattoo?
I'm not dissing it. I just didn't know what it was.
I think you and me are going to have a fight later. I'm going to rage out, domestic dispute.
I've already had one of those. Why? Because you had one Zima?
Yeah.
You know?
Let's talk about bands then and fights and stuff like that. We're going down that road.
That gave you that one cider you had gave you some beer muscles?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, being in a band, that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it to people. It's literally, everybody thinks that they're the leader of the band. Everybody wants to write the songs and get the credit. Everybody has different ideas of the way the song goes, of the way the promoting should goes, of how much the band should make, of who should, so having to balance 4 or 5, however many people are in the band, personalities is crazy, and people's feelings get hurt, fights break out.
It's a lot of friction, man.
You and I were in a band
Yeah.
where our lead singer got angry at me one night. No surprise. I tend to bring out that reaction in people.
I got angry at you a few times, I think.
Yeah, I tend to bring that out in people. I'm a wise ass. And even though it's always intended to be comedic, sometimes it doesn't get taken comedically. And I apologize. I'm trying. But yeah, I don't for the life of me remember what I said, but it triggered her to push me physically off of a bar stool before we went on stage. And I believe as we were walking up to the stage, she somehow had pictures of when I had gotten into a car accident. I was hit head on by a drunk driver.
Oh, go back to drinking?
Yeah, I was hit head on by a drunk driver maybe 6 months before that, and she somehow had the pictures of my car in her hand.
Wow.
I don't know why or how she had them. I might have brought them to a rehearsal one time to show you guys how messed up my car got and how I probably should have died in the accident.
I think you did.
But anyway, she happened to have the pictures. And this was after she pushed me off the bar stool. We're going up on stage about to play, and she throws the pictures at me of my car accident and says, "You should have died in that accident."
Ouch.
Yeah. She was a little angry. Obviously we say things sometimes and do things that we don't mean to do out of anger, that I guess that's the definition of being triggered. Just pulling the trigger just because, you just want to kind of just, when the smart thing to do is take a deep breath and de-escalate. I was having a conversation with somebody about that recently, about de-escalating. It might have been, it was one of my buddies. We were talking about what if a person came up and did this, or what if you were to experience that, and I would be like, I would de-escalate it.
Yeah.
I would be the bigger man. If somebody tries coming up to me in public and, pushing me around or saying something that's insulting, I'm just going to be like, whatever, and just walk away, be the bigger man. Why do I have to be like, well, fuck you, Because all that's going to do is then raise the tension up. You got it. One of us has to be the bigger man and be like, I'm walking away from this.
Right.
I don't need to get arrested or get into a fist fight or a gun battle.
That's a good swivel to one of my stories. When I threw down the band prior to meeting you guys and joining you up. I almost knocked my guitarist out. I gave him a bloody nose. I think I even broke his nose. And my drummer was that Peacemaker at the time. What
did this dude do that made you so angry that you had to
He said
hit him?
something to me about me, about my life. He brought my past up, and a lot of stuff going on. And I just raged out, and I just threw.
Was this like while you were practicing?
Yeah, we just finished jamming in his basement, and he started running his mouth, and I was like, enough, and I just decked him.
No warning or nothing? You didn't say, hey man, you better shut your mouth or I'm gonna...
No warning.
I'm gonna bop you one.
My drummer jumped over his kit and just got in between us and said, "Whoa, whoa." Meanwhile, the dude's pouring out blood out of his nose. He's like, "Get out of here," you know? It's like, and that was it. That was the end of my band, or my term with that band.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. It's freaking crazy. I think one of my crazier experiences, and I want to wrap this up because I want to keep this podcast under an hour.
All right.
And
cool.
What?
It's fine.
But I don't want it to be over. I want to go to space and be an astronaut.
I think we were running the camera for like 10 minutes before we even kicked it in.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
So I think we got another 10 minutes.
I think I'll decide.
All right.
All right?
All right. You do that.
All right, motherfucker?
All right.
All right?
All right.
All right.
Go have some Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah, I'll give you a Girl Scout cookie. That sounded like something like a Dirty Sanchez or something.
Yeah.
I'll give you a Girl Scout cookie.
That was wrong.
No, dude, let me tell you about his story. Is that how the song goes?
It was fun playing music with you and the other bandmates. It was fun.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. Such a douche.
He's such an arrogant fucking
Yeah,
statement.
you are.
Of course it was. Playing with me was the best. No, let me tell you a story, dude. Let me tell you this. You might know this, but other people might not. I was in a. It was called hardcore, but I think they've changed the name of it now to metalcore. Whatever it was.
It was metal, I would say.
Whatever it was.
Hardcore. It was hardcore.
It was a band called Grimlock. The band still exists on paper. You know, our record label, Knives Out.
I don't think they could see any of that, but
well, I'm pointing it out to you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right, our record label continues to put out albums, but we don't really play shows. We live all around the world at this point, but we were a touring band at one point. And
I saw you.
The last time we toured, well, no, this story goes back to the first time we toured the country. We were supposed to take a older Ford, like Econoline 15-passenger van, and then we also rented like a Penske, like a box truck.
Yeah.
Okay. The box truck was supposed to be for all the equipment, luggage, and everything else, and then everyone else would be in the van, right? We get to the band's house that had the van the morning we're supposed to leave for like the first show, I think, which was Detroit, and their van doesn't work. So what do? Do we cancel the whole friggin' tour? No.
Hell no. Show must go on.
We decide to keep the box van packed with both bands' gears.
Yeah.
And our luggage and everything, and we had 3 people sit up front because that's all you could sit, and the other 11 of us were in the back of the box truck. It's a box truck, Josh.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a truck that you drag around.
No air.
But you're not dragging it around. So yeah, there was no air, there was no light, and that's what we toured the country in for 3 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, 11 of us back there.
Must have smelled good.
But what we did is we got smart. It was a big box truck, so we just stacked all the equipment up against, the very
nose of the truck.
The very nose of the truck, and then we put a couch in there.
Nice.
And you know how the trucks have like the bars that go across either side.
All right.
Where you can hold up shit.
The load bars.
The load bars. We put up hammocks up there. So we had enough room to where, we could kind of spread out, but we were still laying on top of each other. We had to shower at rest stops, literally by taking your shirt off. I don't know if I don't know what they call it. I think there's a nickname for it, where you take a shower without actually showering. Like you take your shirt off and go to a sink and you just take some soap and, do this.
Poor man shower.
Do that with your face. That's what we were doing for 3 weeks. Yeah. Occasionally, we did have enough money after a show to get a hotel room. This was 96. Occasionally, we did have enough money to get a hotel room, so we'd take a shower, or we'd crash at a band's house, and we had a place to sleep. But eventually, we got some tools. And you know how on the back of a box truck, it's almost like a garage door? So the very top panel, when the garage door is shut from the inside, we were able to unbolt that so it flapped down.
Yeah.
So we at least got some air and some light.
That would be a roll-up door.
Yeah. So we took the top panel of the roll-up door off. But yeah,
Nice.
we're all 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, traveling across the country, 11 of us, in the back of a friggin' box truck. Can you imagine if we were pulled over and the cop had us open the back? You
Yeah.
would have seen 11 people back there that aren't in seatbelts, no light, no air, stinking, but that's what we did for the love of,
Yeah, love of music,
for the
man.
love of music, man. On that same tour, I picked up my first groupie ever.
Nice.
You imagine, man?
What'd you do with her?
18 years old.
Did you bring her along?
18 years old, being in Salt Lake City, Nevada. I think it was Nevada. I think it was Salt Lake City.
That's in Utah.
Or it was Utah. It was either Utah or Nevada we were in. And, it was nuts being 18 years old, dude, and actually having fans,
Yeah.
Some of them being women.
Yeah.
And some of them were hot.
We had fans when we were doing ours.
Yeah. So, that was the first time that I was, on a tour with a band and saw fans, and they were women,
Yes.
and they wanted me, and I was like, okay, let's go.
That's a cool experience.
Dude, but I can tell you one of the worst one of the worst feelings. I don't know about you, but my baby is always like my guitars. My guitars are my baby. Like that acoustic over there, that was my first one. I've had that thing built and rebuilt and retooled. I'll never get rid of it. It's my baby. If anything were to happen to that thing, I have that thing insured. That thing's irreplaceable. It has sentimental value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you have any basses at home that are sentimental to you, or?
Not really. I guess some broken ones. They're like toothpicks now.
Well, I've had my guitars, or anyone out there that's a musician, if you're a clarinet player, I'm sure you love your clarinet, right? Whatever your instrument is.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you, dude, how many times, we would play locally around the Boston area at one of the many clubs around here, right? Then I would go home. I would be drifting off to sleep, and then all of a sudden I would sit straight up in bed and go, oh shit, I forgot my guitar. Because we're close enough to home where the band's not taking a bus there.
Yeah. I never had that problem.
We're all driving separately with our gear.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing I had to bring home that wasn't going back to our rehearsal space was like my guitar. I would bring that like physically home with me. And there were at least 2 or 3 times at the local nightclub here that we used to play at a lot that I was home and remembered, oh my God, like I don't have my guitar. And thankfully, either like all 3 times I did it, either a band member saw it and took it for me, or the club still had it and nobody walked off with it. So I got lucky, man. But like leaving your guitar behind, especially when it's like your baby.
It's like your left arm.
Oh my God, it's like you left your kid behind. Or like your wallet, and you got credit cards in there and cash, and you're like, oh my God, I cannot, miss this stuff.
I never had any crazy experiences like that. I think probably the worst experience would be just, there's a local place here in town that the band room is right across from the bathroom, and just smelling the bathroom and watching everybody vomit after.
Oh yeah, dude. Some of the clubs that we went to, the bathrooms. Oh my God, you don't know the level of smell.
No, you'd be sticking to the floor. It's horrible.
I would quote a movie. Well, you don't know any movies, but the people at home might. If you've ever seen the toilet scene, that's at pretty much the beginning of Trainspotting.
I haven't seen it.
When he goes into a bathroom because he has to go, and then he drops his heroin in the toilet. That scene, dude. I don't know. You've never seen the movie, but anyone that has seen it, that's what these bathrooms look like. They were terrible. But anyways, man, that's all the time that we have for this week. I've hoped you've enjoyed us talking a little bit about women and dating and, bands and alcohol and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe next week we'll get back into more of it because I have a lot more stuff here. Josh has some stuff written down.
We didn't even get to half of what I had.
Well, what do you want me to do, man? The people probably stopped watching 55 minutes ago.
So, we'll do it next week or another day.
Yeah. Are you going to be around next week?
Is it Thanksgiving week?
No, it's the week before Thanksgiving week.
I think I'm going to be around still. Nice.
That was a good burp.
That was beautiful.
Oh, I feel so much better now.
That'll pick up a lot of people.
Dude, tell me a story quick. Come on.
I don't have anything. I just told you.
You said that like an hour ago too. You had all these notes and you looked like you were pissed off that you didn't get to them. And then I'm like, all right, go ahead. I don't got nothing.
When was the first time you bought beer on your own? When you were 21?
Oh no. I was developing a lot of weird things, and to get into this party, we had to get a keg. Yeah. And my buddy,
like a Teen Wolf.
My buddy, he didn't know. He went into the store. He tried to get a keg, and he didn't. So I went into the store to get a keg, and the old man looked at me, and he's like, "No way, get out of here." And then my eyes turned red, and I said, "Give me a keg
of beer."
That's a classic.
That was a good one.
Oh my God, that movie's not talked about enough. It's not seen enough.
I was 14 when I walked in and got beer.
Yes, there. Everybody ends up knowing. Whoa! Sorry, I'm playing with the buttons here, people.
You're just messing everything up.
Saying the word buttons just made me think. You want to hear something funny, dude, to end the show off with? That's got nothing to do with anything we've been talking about.
Push my buttons.
I think I've already done that enough today.
A little bit.
You're a fucking asshole. A little bit. Dude. All right. So
get on with it.
There's a family that I grew up with that had a very unique name for the remote control to the television. The remote control to the television was like the Ark of the Covenant in their house. It was the most sacred possession they had.
It should be in every house.
And they called it the buttons.
Nice. That's funny.
Like, who's got the buttons? Who's got the buttons? Where's the buttons? Mom, I can't find the buttons. Where's the buttons? Yeah, the buttons. And I was like, where did you guys come up with the buttons? And just so simplistically, I believe it was my buddy or his father was just like, it's a bunch of buttons.
Yeah?
The buttons. Where's the buttons? The buttons. The buttons.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yep. First and only family I've ever heard refer to their thing other than, the TV remote.
Clicker.
The clicker, whatever. They called it the buttons.
The thingy.
And speaking of the buttons, this has been episode number 58 of the Views from the John podcast. I'm John. He's Josh. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week. If you could, please, for the love of God, hit the like, hit the subscribe, something. Anything to help us out.
Please.
I should have mentioned.
I need to get home before I turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Again, I'm John and he's Josh, and we'll talk to you guys next week with episode 59. Or I don't know. He might not be here. I don't know.
I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
Remind me.
I joked with you and said, I guess I must have pushed your buttons today. You're like, yeah, a little bit. What did I do, dude? Everything I do on this fucking podcast is just to bust your balls.
I know. I don't know. I forget what you busted me on.
Exactly.
You told me to write down a bunch of stuff, so I wrote down a bunch of stuff.
And then the 2 times I told you to go.
And you're just yapping.
Well, it is the Views from the John podcast.
It is. I know. I'll let you go. doesn't talk a lot.
But dude, I did give you 2 separate opportunities to continue on with your stories. And you're like, I don't got nothing. But you obviously got something now. You're obviously upset that we didn't get to it. What do you got, dude?
I don't got, nah. It's too late.
It ain't too late.
It's too late.
And quit clicking that.
Sorry. I'm out.
Can I see what you wrote down?
Nah, it's nothing much.
Well, let me see it.
No, I can't.
Why?
Because.
Let me see it, dude.
No, there's nothing there. Look.
I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, probably because you were ripping.
It's probably because you hit me in the head and it knocked me out. No, I don't. I've been hit in the head several times, man.
Yeah.
No, I just thought that's what guys do around here.